Okay, you should be able to hear me now. I have no idea why that wasn't happening. I'm sorry. Every once in a while, OBS just forgets where my mic is. I apologize for that again. But hello. We are back for more musical magical shenanigans with yet another session of Soundclash the Clampdown. I'm so glad that you can join me this evening. Um, but before we get into it, I will just do the regular housekeeping that happens on this channel by typing a thing in the chat uh, whenever I get to type the letter G. Right. Cool. Just as a reminder that there are so many ways that you can engage with this channel and the content that emerges from this channel, which includes exclamation point ARF-tube will give you access to the YouTube channel, which has all the previous streams that have been on this channel. Exclamation point ARF-Trion, which you can use to support the work that takes place on this channel by contributing financially to the growth of this channel, which is very helpful for a lot of very different reasons, including but not limited to ensuring that the quality of streams is always as impeccable as possible. So if you want to support in that way, definitely recommended. That, for instance, pays for the ability for us to have an opening theme for this stream in the first place. And if you all remember, it also paid for the opportunity for me to have a new computer in order for us to stream at all, which I'm still very grateful for. So thank you so very much for that. And if you want to support Greg in a similar fashion, so we can continue to raise the production value of this stream, please feel free to do the thing. Um, the website obviously gives you access to all of the work that Greg makes, not only for this channel, but as a writer and all around cool person in his own right. And exclamation point our shop also gives you access to the shop where you can get cool merch that gives you the opportunity to wear your attachment to the cool stuff that takes place on this channel on your person whenever you wish. I hope that at some point we can make Soundclash merch. I already know what the Soundclash merch would be. That's just me. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. But yes, that's definitely another way that you can definitely support the channel. Um, exclamation point ARF Cord gives you an opportunity to connect to the Discord, which gives you the ability not only to interact with the community and bond with all of the lovely people who not only make the content but love the content on this channel, but whenever we want to do things like community D&D or like have like a random a game night thingy, that's always a good opportunity for you to bond with the community. And also, community is good, and it's very important for you to take the opportunity to meet all the lovely people who already engage with this community and become a part of it in your own right. So definitely check out the Discord as well. What am I forgetting? Because I forget all of these things every time. Every time I press the button, suddenly things just kind of vaporize from my brain because I get excited about actually doing the thing, and I forget that there are all of these housekeeping notes that I'm supposed to keep. I feel like I need to put like a sticky note on the wall in front of me so I remember all of these things. But exclamation point Icarus if you want to um, get a copy of Icarus and Jelinek, Greg's wonderful graphic novels published by Athos Arts, which are really, really dope. Other people think that they're really, really dope. They've been nominated for awards even, which is a good sign that they're actually really, really cool, and you should give them as much love and attention as possible. Which is where we pivot immediately to exclamation point Grey Shade KS, where we also remind you that the Grey Assassin trilogy is about to do really cool things in the physical world. Not only is the first book in that trilogy about to be published at some point in the future, but there are all sorts of other cool things that are going to be happening in that universe that you can keep abreast of by following Greg here and elsewhere, and keeping abreast of all of those cool things. As for the one single cool thing that I guess I would add to these housekeeping notes as well, I have a book that's coming out. I have a poetry collection coming out in August, on August the 20th. My debut poetry chapbook, Can You Sign My Tentacle, will be coming out by Interstellar Flight Press. And if you want to get a copy of that, you can pre-order that right now at the Interstellar Flight Press website, which Triffity Mats has already earlier put the link to in the chat if you want to check that out. Oh, and let me not forget, yes, Tales and Tones from the Forbidden Library, exclamation point library, gives you the opportunity to check out Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library, the Dungeons and Dragons 5e source book, in which not only does Greg have content in this book, but one of our players in the session, Amar Amaraz, also has content in this book, and it would be definitely dope if you check that out. But I think I've covered all of the housekeeping things. So now, do you have a reading scheduled for the 20th when the book releases? Arv, I'm going to let you know. No, I do not. Nothing has been confirmed in terms of a public reading of Can You Sign My Tentacle yet. So if you want to do a thing, I would like to put you in contact with some folks so we could like make a thing happen. I'd like that to happen. I think that's quite interesting as well, don't you? But I will harass you and some other people about that later this evening or early in the morning tomorrow, if that's a thing that you'd like to do. But that is for a later date. For now, let me first transition to all of these cool people and return audibly into their physical space, where I've probably interrupted them from having some radical conversation about how to make the world a better place.
Yeah, all right, darling, you're all right.
I think for once you actually didn't interrupt us.
Yeah, it would seem so. That's quite a miracle in and of itself. As we now transition over here, where you get to meet all of these lovely people who are about to play this lovely game. Please say hello to all of them.
Hello.
I'm so glad to be joining you all so we can get into some downtime shenanigans. But first, please introduce yourselves to the lovely people in the audience by telling everyone who you are, what you do, and who you will be playing this evening, starting with Vale.
Hi guys, you know me now. I'm Vale. I use he/they pronouns, and I will be playing Ava, the beat, the rhythm, the beat.
You are in fact.
I always
the,
forget.
Yes.
I always forget. It's my gimmick now. Ava per on the beat, who uses she/her pronouns.
Yes, and while you continue doing that, I suddenly realized that I had forgotten to rearrange people into the places where they're supposed to be. So I just want to make sure that everybody is actually who they say they are.
Ooh, I'm Nathan Blades.
There could be only one.
Right, and let's fix
Then we just gotta flip me and
So-
Katie.
Oh, yeah, hello, I'm Valet.
Right, okay, cool. Everything is in its rightful place. That never happened. We made no mistakes whatsoever. Everything flowed perfectly naturally. This is why I call myself the stage manager and not a game master, because I'm not in control of anything. I'm just supposed to juggle all of the things backstage until they work. But yes. Next, Amber.
Oh, you are muted, Anna.
Hi, I'm Amar Ramirez, and I am muted during my intro. But you heard everything, right? No. Hi, I'm Amar Ramirez. I use any pronouns except he, and I will be playing Mehmet Al-Qalb, who is our melody. And yeah, they use they she pronouns.
Nice. Next, Katie.
Hello there, I'm Katie Chin, she, her pronouns all around for both me and my poor friend River Song, the rhythm, who, if ever attacked, like John Mulaney once said, you have to throw the attacker off the rhythm. And hopefully the beat will do that for me. Thank you very much. And yes, that's what River Song is. Hello, everybody.
And last but not least, Nathan Blades.
Hello, I am a rogue AI trapped inside your computer, Nathan Blades. I play on Soundclash Oliver Hoshizora, who is resident anime sad boy and theremin player, and also the harmony.
Nice. So where we last left off, you had just finished your first performance and we're getting ready to go to the after party, which is weird because there's going to be an after party for every performance. Like, you're not actually wrapping anything up, you're just taking more opportunities to get drunk, I guess. But that's the way that Devlin likes it, so you've been invited and you have made every arrangement to attend, in part because Nachmat has noticed in a vision after that performance that maybe Devlin is actually in some kind of danger and maybe would require some assistance. Whether you actually provide that assistance or if he actually deserves it has yet to be determined. But in the business of determining whether to go to the party in the first place, you have gained some new instruments. Oliver has had a moment of personal reckoning at home, trying to determine whether this has potentially gone a little bit too far. And you've all been now ushered in this very flashy party bus to Club Onyx, where tonight's after party is about to take place. So we cut into the this bus now pulling up into Club Onyx, which is like 2 stories, stone and glass outside. Like there is a portion of the second story of this building that is just glass, just like one solid pane of glass that is so like thickly tinted that if you like squint at it in the right kind of lamplight, you can just like see a reflection of the street right ahead of it. This is like the fanciest club in this part of your hex, and one of the fancier clubs in like the mini hex area around you. Like this is one of the like this is top notch. There are people who like literally cross the border to party at Club Onyx because Club Onyx is shit. And this is where you're about to have your after party, and you step out of the bus, and there are like multicolored strobe lighting that is like hitting the walls of the outside walls, and like you can very faintly notice that the glass itself is vibrating at the frequency of the sound of music that is playing from the inside. You can hear it rattling against the stone. There is a long-ish, not very long, but long-ish line of people waiting to get in from like the right-hand side of the front of the building, and on the on the other side of the double doors that line is waiting to get in past that bouncer is another door where another bouncer who is not like wearing like a black polo and black trousers but is like wearing like a purple pinstriped suit notices you all get out of the bus and raises the velvet rope on that for that separate door for all of you to enter.
Well, this is oh, it's been I think this is maybe the first time I've been to a nightclub and received such a warm welcome.
What kind of welcome do you usually receive here?
Not necessarily negative, but the queue is definitely a lot longer, I'll tell you that.
Oh, you wait in lines, I see.
Oh, that reminds me, by the way, Narkmat, who do you feel like being this evening, I suppose, is a relevant question.
Who do I feel like being?
Yes. I mean, we are, especially with the way that you describe, we're superstars now. The face that you use on regular university life might not be the right fit anymore. So I was wondering if you were going to make a change.
Why? Did you have something specific in mind?
No, I guess, how to put it? And I think Oliver goes a bit more hushed, so only you hear. In the
Mm.
grand scheme of things, it really does feel like you're the only person that really out of the rest of us, you're the only other person that really kind of understands what it like means to be known or recognizes the trials and tribulations therein. Or at least in the instances where you can be someone else in the public face, you're not necessarily one to be yourself. And to be honest, I understand the feeling.
So are you looking for advice or?
I was just genuinely curious. I think in a callback to
Mhm.
kind of previous instances where we were playing almost chicken racing
Yep.
to the edge of the cliff on who was being the most obviously inauthentic in our kind
Right.
of like early days. Oliver is kind of in a roundabout way asking kind of like, hey, we're in a position where nobody really knows the real us at all.
Yep.
And we can be anyone if we want. Are you going to be somebody else? Have you settled on the person you want to be?
Well, if that's the case, the answer is not really. I'm gonna figure it out as we go. I mean, we are here as the band, so I guess I'm the person on stage, right? Which I guess means I gotta trash talk more people. Awesome. And I just start walking towards the entrance.
Yeah. You're kind of like you're saying trash talk more people. Oliver's eyes raise in surprise. He doesn't stop you though. He's kind of like, I think we're gonna have a very interesting evening, and starts just kind of like shoulders moving, chuckling to himself in a way that probably Eva and River see. Like Oliver is now just kind of like they shared a very good joke with themselves alone, and you have no idea what they're laughing about.
Mm-hmm.
Were they fighting, River? Do you think they were fighting?
They seem like good friends. I think they're getting along.
Okay.
They're getting to know each other, right?
Yeah. Yes. It's definitely what it has to be.
Well, I don't wanna lose them in the crowd, so we gotta go.
No, yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Rush.
Ava, you notice that you get a private message on Discord.
I'm checking. I'm checking like immediately. Like Ava's stepping off and trying to look like really cool with like I forget. Was it like a domino mask or like a phantom mask that I?
I think we established as a domino mask because I was gonna ask if you were still wearing it. In fact,
Yeah.
So now that we know that you are, good.
But like now I'm in like a leather jacket, and like Ava has found like old leather pants that they had like they wore when they were younger, and now they're just sort of like walking in with like the wig and the mask and the leather. It's awful. And so she's like trying to look like cool and mysterious as she's like checking her phone walking into the club.
Okay. And you see that it's a message from Ace Fan. And it's two lines of a message. The first line is like an animated sticker of like a spy in like their like fedora. The sticker cuts them off just underneath the eyes, and like it's just an animation of their eyes moving left and right. And the next line of the message is, "Be alert. Funny things happen at these kinds of parties."
Ava
It's not ominous at all.
Yeah. Ava's like, funny? Like, is someone gonna try and like mess with us? Is someone gonna try and mess with my folks? Like a little bit of like mama bear energy coming out.
Also, when you like step into the club, as like you start like clearing the crowd like just ahead of the door and entering the club proper, like a handful of people like spread out across the club start chanting ace, 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 and you can like just barely hear it over the volume of music being played here. But like you can tell that people are very excited that you are here.
Well, naturally.
So now that you are all here, we get to get into some downtime things. So, I've fleshed out a great deal of how downtime works in Soundclash, including some of the realms that you gain fame, cash, and other benefits and consequences from your actions. So we're going to dig into some of that right now. So first, we're going to do what would typically be the payoff in a Blades game, but in this game is called Buzz. So I'm just going to read a little portion of that for you all right now, including which opens with a section about how fame and cash works in this game. After a showbiz scene ends, the band takes stock of their income from the job. A successful performance or other mission generates both fame and cash. Depending on the job, the amount of fame they gain differs. Um, and there's a section about how that would work if you were doing a job other than performance. But if you performed, you gain fame based on the quality of the performance. For each phrase of the song they performed, they earn one fame for each section with a success or stunning performance. They gain or lose additional fame based on if they clashed with another band in a higher or lower echelon, which is the uh, comparison to tier in a Blades game. So, it is with great joy that I get to let you all know now that based on your performance in that clash earlier, you gain 4 fame.
I wanna be famous.
Exciting.
The
Yeah.
bag is secured.
I wanna be.
See the benefit of the strange relationship between being able to gain and lose fame in this game rather than just gaining rep and deciding how to spend it at other points in the game is that you can actually just gain a buttload of fame in one pure clash, and that will just set you up to move up to a higher echelon or do other fame related stuff as soon as possible. So you are definitely encouraged to like try as often as possible to uh take all of your future performances to the max, knowing that it's going to benefit you very well later on in the future and set you up for being able to make riskier decisions in the future as a band because you have essentially enough fame to lose. You also gain cash as a result, based on the nature of the gig and or any loot that you would have seized if it was not a performance. But because of the nature of the performance, I'm going to say that you get 2 cash as a band.
Cha-ching.
Okay, we got like a whole treasure chest of like real cash. Who knows?
Yeah, this is real money. The god coins that are going to, like you will still be able you still are able to spend the god coins that you have now earned, but you're going that's going to come up at a later date, and we're going to like figure out how that actually works in this world.
Yeah, selling gold is usually, at least in the real world, a very difficult endeavor. A lot of that is, very heavily tracked. So if it's like, oh, where was this gold minted? And we're just like,
And
space?
another plane of existence?
Mm.
So now that we've covered that, we are going to now move on to heat. Amber, can I ask you to read the section on heat that is in the downtime document?
Sure. Give me one second.
Read the first paragraph and then the heat table that immediately follows it.
Can you relink it real quick? I've been struggling to find it.
Ooh, it should be a document that's titled Downtime Draft, if I'm not mistaken. Let me.
It's on page 2 if you've got the document open.
Let me.
Oh, I see it. Okay, I found.
Cool.
I just needed to refine the our file link.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Heat.
Yes.
In the world of Soundclash, the industry is always closely monitoring you, scrutinizing your every action to make sure that you fall in line. To reflect this, your band standing changes as you perform and you gain heat. After a performance, another gig, or a conflict with an opponent, your band takes heat according to the nature of the operation. 0 heat for low exposure and not making waves. 2 heat for standard exposure, a contained incident, not newsworthy. 4 heat, high exposure, loud and chaotic, making the tabloids. And 6 heat, devastating exposure, making national news.
Mm-hmm. So, and I'll read the next section. You add 1 heat for a high profile or well connected target. Add 1 heat if the situation happened on hostile turf. Add 1 heat if you're at war with another faction. And add +2 heat if killing or property damage was involved. Whether the band was responsible or not, as far as the public is concerned, you are all at fault. So, it is with great trepidation that I let you know that a lot of things happened in that last performance. I'm willing to allow you to argue whether this is a lot to happen right now, but as it stands, y'all are in position to earn 4 heat.
Not 6. Wow.
Wow. We want to go viral.
I mean,
I feel like it's because we've made turrets spin on their freaking heads.
yeah, like
maybe
that's like that's
summoned a
the,
meteor out the sky.
that's the big issue. Like the meteor, the second this accidentally breaking authority turrets. That performance was a lot. A great deal of stuff happened that night. So you're gonna have to deal with the backlash of that a little bit. So yeah, your band is now going to earn 4 heat.
Ah. Everything's fine.
So another unique and challenging thing about Soundclash is, unlike a Blades game where entanglements are a unique relationship to heat, there is a different way of how that works in Soundclash, which is called PR. But there are 2 different kinds of PR. There's industry PR, which is more or less the exact same way that entanglements work in Blades, because that represents the complications that arise because of your relationship to the industry. But there is also what is essentially community PR, which is a completely different relationship based on your fame, which is the favors that you are being asked to do by ordinary folk, people who like you and your sound and the stuff that you're doing in this space. So as it stands, I'm mentioning that exists because I would hold on. One of these tables is finished, but the other one isn't. So we're not going to roll on one, unfortunately. Cool. So we're going to roll on the industry PR table, which is unfortunately not in the document.
Okay.
But it works almost the exact same way that it does in Blades. So I will read that so we are aware of how that works as well. Oop. Okay, cool. For industry PR, you find the column that matches the band's current heat level and then roll a number of dice equal to their difficulty level. So you are presently not difficult. Difficulty is in Soundclash the exact same thing that wanted level would be in Blades. So because you haven't maxed out your heat yet, your difficulty level is still at 0. And now you will. Right. So now you will. Hold on. One, two, three, four. Aha. Okay. I'm mistaken. Unfortunately, it turns out that table's not done either. You have been spared from the drama, potentially getting into like a great deal of trouble. Um, but yes, I was very excited.
Classic.
I was very excited to actually get into that kind of drama with you, but I was also debating because you also have a thing that is about to be set up to happen anyway. Whether to just establish those things, so I guess we'll just do that instead. I apologize. Those things will exist very soon. This game is still being held together by duct tape and like uh, old, already been chewed gum, but still.
Trouble, we wouldn't get into trouble. We're innocent little butterflies.
Just a little guy. I'm just a little guy, and it's my birthday. I'm a birthday boy. You want to hear?
Oh my god. Um,
It's my
Right.
favorite
You got
audio.
Oh lord. So, since you've been spared from that, now we just get to go into downtime actions as they already exist. Many of those things you're already aware of, which includes indulging vice, um, engaging in a long-term project, which includes but is not limited to writing a song, um, acquiring an asset, um, recovering, and stuff like that. So the only like caveat that I will present to you at this point is, if you wanted to write a song as a long-term project, you cannot do that here. So if that was a thing that you wanted to do, you'd have to save one of your downtime actions for after this party is done. But you can also decide if this is a place that you'd like to indulge in your vice, um, if you just want to like, hang out and do things generally. It is also like perfectly possible as a result for you all to decide that you're going to um, take this opportunity to indulge vice as a group and keep all of your second downtime actions for after the party is over, and we will like just do some um, free role play until the party is done.
I'm definitely indulging in vice
Excuse
here.
me.
Oh, I'm
Okay.
100% gonna blow off some steam some way or another.
Yeah, yeah. Indulging vice is definitely also on the list for me.
Okay.
Uh,
So
I think I'd only be able to do that after the party. If anything, I would like to add more and more stress from being at a party.
Reasonable.
so the categories of vice that exist in Soundclash are creed, which is any practice of faith or ideology which steals you from service at your place of worship to building ranks for the secret society, social club, or militia that you serve. Bliss, food, drink, drugs, nightlife, lovers, or anything gratifying to the senses. Chic, the red carpet, the ballroom, and the closed doors of class and luxury. Crash, any attempt to dull the senses, from drowning in drink to indulging in drugs to a good blow to the face in the boxing ring. Cacophony, experimenting with spell songs, weird after effects as a result of the noise. Or craft, design, architecture, cooking, tinkering, lay experimentation, or any creative endeavor that gives you a moment to not think about music for a bit. So, since you're at a nightclub, all of you can engage in bliss if you wish. Soundclash is not particularly strict about what kind of vice you engage in. Although it will have like it will ask you to specify if there's a one that you ultimately prefer above all else. But if you all just wanted to like do the nightclub thing, just like have some drinks, chill out. That also counts, which would be a wonderful opportunity for you all to RP together as a group, a moment of pure relaxation amongst you all. Um, so yeah, I think that scene opens as a result with another stage manager that yet another stage manager that you have seen about but haven't actually interacted with, steps over to you all as you like finally carve some space through the crowd and says, like kind of shouting over the music of the nightclub, we have a table set aside for you if you want.
Oh, that's delightful. Thank you very much.
Cool. And they like start like guiding you um like further through the crowd, up like like a small um kind of like raised platform on this same just a little bit away from the dance floor, where there is a like tall square table and four tall like um steel bar stools. And they just guide you to this table and ask you to sit.
Of course. Oh, I guess also to remind those who are tuning in from last time that actually, like Nakamat, Ava, and River all simultaneously went to go look for the treasure, then showed up at Oliver's house. So none of you have necessarily had the time to do anything like change
Nope.
or anything like
Nope.
that.
Yep.
Yeah. Oliver specifically went home to change, so his outfit's different. I can't. I think there was probably one that I set in stone at the time and no longer remember it. So it is now changed to like snakeskin print trousers, very Majima from Yakuza. Kind of fitting with their kind of like solo stage name of Ophiuchus, and a big puffy white puffer jacket that is kind of reminiscent of the kind of like a puffy texture of like old school astronaut suits, as he kind of like is being let through into this bar stool area. I think he was kind of expecting like the kind of booth seating kind of thing rather than like a bar stool table circumstance. So he's caught by surprise and then kind of scrapes the chair a little too loud along the floor with it being a metal table. It's, I guess, drowned out by bumping beats next door, but then adjusts themselves on it a bit awkwardly.
As that thought dawns on you, Oliver, give me a roll
Ooh,
to see just like as that thought occurs to you, like why aren't there booth seating in this space, and you just like idly find your eyes traveling across the space. Give me a roll to see what you might discover about the rest of the layout of this floor of the nightclub.
May I suggest a mingle? Because this is kind of getting the word from the people moving around the space. Otherwise, I'll roll observe, but... You sound unconvinced. I will
I would have like if the circumstance were a little bit different, if you weren't already at the table, for instance, if
no, you're good. I'm
yeah,
more than
but
happy to do that.
it's
I have no
definitely
points in
observe.
observe, so I will be rolling
Right.
2d20.
You will be rolling 2d20 and taking the more volatile of those rolls. Your position is controlled and your effect is limited.
Okay, let's go. A 4 and a 3.
I'm pretty sure
that is
both
a fail.
yeah, both of things are not very good. Yeah, the crowd is like too massive for you to really like make out much of the rest of the arrangements of this space, but you can vaguely get like just like kind of through the heads of other people in the crowd, you can vaguely get the sense that Devlin is seated somewhere similar to where you're seated, but all the way on the other end of the um dance floor, like a good like 20 feet away from you, and you can't really tell if if he's seated or if he's just like surrounded by people to the point where you just can't make out where he is in the first place, but you vaguely get the impression that he's somewhere about in that direction.
He doesn't want to hang out with us. Oh. But yeah. There's a vague suggestion of like, oh, maybe he's also here. He should be here. He kind of organize this thing. But let's at least order a bottle first. So yeah, Oliver kind of takes one of the four stools and kind of like gestures over to everybody else to come sit down.
Perfect. And Nechmet will smile and follow. Perfect, our own table. We can scheme what we're going to do this evening here.
Oh, you have an itinerary?
No, not at all. But you don't just show up to a party like this without an idea of how you're going to have the most fun.
Good plan.
I've
Good,
never
good.
been to a club like this before. I don't know even what the options for a plan would be.
I haven't been to a club since I was younger. I'm gonna say younger. I'm not gonna say years.
You know, I'm surprised that you went at all, so we're taking that as a positive.
I don't think the rules have changed so much about the laws of the club, either.
That's
I mean,
fair.
mostly it's you pre-game, you go dance, scene missing, and then you enjoy the rest of your evening.
My understanding is that when you get older, you just suffer larger consequences later the next day.
The scene
is
missing
true.
is considerably longer each time, yes.
While this conversation is happening, the previous stage manager comes back to you and is like, do you want anything to eat? Anything to drink? Just like tosses a menu onto the table, like one of those like slim, long, folded menus.
Is it covered by the is it covered by our benefactor tonight?
Oh yeah, as a performer, like Devlin's paying for everything. Don't take that as encouragement to just like buy the house, but still.
Hmm.
And like
Start
on
with,
the menu, there are like the menu is just like mostly like there are like a handful of finger foods like if you wanted like chicken tenders or something like that. The only meals that they have here are burgers, and all of them are as big as your head and cost almost $200. And like on this folded menu, on all like 8 like sides of the menu, 6 of those faces are just drinks. Do you want beer? Do you want vodka? Do you want wine by the bottle?
Start
yeah.
with 2 bottles of champagne and a platter of sushi. Thank you.
Okay, is that it for everyone?
No, those two bottles are just for Nathan or Oliver.
There is with
Everyone's
the kind
gonna
of like
walk home with a bottle of champagne.
with like the flat confidence that Oliver suggested, those bottles of champagne. You wonder whether he wanted them for just himself or not.
2 will be perfect to start.
Okay. I will let the staff know, and they'll bring that to you shortly. I hope you enjoy the rest of the evening. And
You as
they
well.
just skip off, and you're like, Ava and River, give me a 1 die 14 roll each.
Oh no.
It's
One
fortune.
die.
It can only be a good
fortune.
thing.
Yeah.
12.
20.
Yay! River is secretly bummed about the waiter thing because it's that typical thing where the waiter goes like, "And how's the table doing? Good. Okay, bye." And then that's it. And she couldn't.
Yeah. You
Didn't.
you didn't
Oh,
really
no.
make out. You didn't really make out, like they were muttering something, but you didn't make out what. Ava, in your brain, you actually hear this stage manager mutter, "I have no idea why I'm doing this shit. I don't actually work at this nightclub. I'm a stage manager for a show. I'm not a goddamn valet," and like storms off. And like you feel like for this like brief moment, you feel like you have briefly been like actually telepathically attached to this person. Like while that conversation is taking place, you briefly believe like you know everything about them, but as soon as that statement is done, you forget all of it.
I don't know why he's so upset. He's the one that came up to us asking what we needed.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Nerve that guy.
you get the impression that he's not upset with y'all. He's upset that Devlin's like position of power and authority in this clash has made it so all of his staff are just like overlapping in jobs that they're not supposed to be doing.
Maybe
Poor
we could,
guy.
if he comes back, we can order a plate of fries for the table.
Yeah, definitely. Or honestly, I could just go up and add to that. I mean, we want a plan, right? My plan is I have not had a proper drink since my daughter was like 6. So I think I'm gonna let loose tonight. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna let loose. I think I'm gonna let people buy me drinks.
Ooh.
Okay.
Considering the drinks are already on our tab, the fact that you're having people buy you drinks is definitely a power play either.
Exactly.
River is looking at the way too large drink menu and it's like, what's even good?
Do you even
Like
like
you're-
to drink, River? Sorry.
It's not something I just do. I would have to do it at social situations, and I guess I don't go to many of them.
Okay, what type of regular drinks do you like?
Lemonade.
Okay, so there are beers that taste like lemonade but alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
There are drinks that have lemonade in them, and if you prepare them correctly, you only really taste the lemonade, which can be dangerous because then you don't know how drunk you're getting.
Yep.
Um,
Katie knows that if you told her whiskey sours, then that's exactly what you would get because those are the ones that taste like lemonade.
exactly. But I think Ava is just sort of like going. Ava has this like alcohol knowledge
Mm-hmm.
that like
Mhm.
honestly probably feels a little weird to listen to. Because like this is a teacher, this is a mom.
I feel
Why?
like the longer Ava goes on, the wider Nahmet's smile gets throughout the evening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Oliver was about to kind of like ask River what her favorite number is and then pick that far from the bottom. But when Eva like genuinely like opens up some mixologist knowledge, Oliver's like, oh, okay, dang.
Because like
Go
you're like the those among you are still who are still wrestling with the menu. You notice like there are drinks on this menu you've never actually like seen in a grocery store or a liquor store before. Like there are drinks on this menu that you've only seen play on ads on digital billboards in upscale parts of the class. There are drinks on this menu you do not know how to pronounce and would never be able to buy with your own money. So yeah, if y'all want to show off, y'all can just like pick the last thing on the menu in every category, and you easily be spending like upwards of $1,000.
Yes, the 1886 like Chardonnay from Thomas Jefferson's vineyard.
American wine?
It doesn't make any sense, the years and the person I named, but
Yeah.
don't think about it.
It's
History
the
best
students.
No, like that's how expensive it is. It's not even supposed to make sense.
I want I feel like there are definitely clef themed drinks though. Like there's like a bubbly whole note, whatever, and Ava's like, I don't know what the fuck that is. But like,
Oh,
the
right.
one-
There is actually there is a drink in Club Onyx which I will say, Ava, you know, because it's not Club Onyx's drink. You've had it at a smaller bar before. You know that it's their signature drink and Club Onyx just copied it. But it's called The Rest. Like when on the menu, it's not even addressed in words. Like they actually like draw a whole note rest on the menu.
Amazing.
They
A whole
don't
note rest.
they don't tell you what's in the drink. You know what's in the drink. It's essentially a Long Island iced tea with extra steps. But it's called the rest because it will knock you flat and leave you silent.
So good.
Yeah.
Yes, an
It's-
upside down hat.
Oh.
It's the drink people drink when they want to get drunk in one go. It's also the drink that people don't recommend people who have never drunk before or never been to this club before to drink, because that's how you get yourself hurt.
Now Ava straight up looks at it and she's like, "Oh my god, they're still serving these? I thought it would be illegal by now."
In my university city, one of the famous cocktail bars in there had something that was. It used to be called the Evil Zombie, and they've changed the name since. It is 7 different types of rum, topped with a shot of absinthe. They serve you one.
I need to experience this.
I don't think like
On
I
a full
like
stomach
rum
in the plain light
and-
of day, but I need to experience this.
Yeah, I really like rum, and I actually quite like absinthe, but the flavor profile of that sounds bad.
Well, at the one
Drink that you go
infamous
and give
shot
somebody on
club.
their birthday for that kind of energy. So I like the idea that this Long Island iced tea with extra steps is that they do the rum step way too many times.
Oh no.
A what club, Katie?
Oh, there's just a club that was known for its cheap shots. And I just wanted to say the one name of the one that was infamous, which is the Rocky Mountain Bearfucker, which is just known for being terrible and also getting you drunk really fast.
Do you know what was
Okay.
in it?
Oh,
I mean,
I
that's
never
quite a
had one.
name. I mean, if I've never had a drink like that before and you just identified it to me by that name, I'd be like, yeah, that does
I have to
exactly
Google
what it
this now,
says it's
excuse me.
supposed to do. Okay, so while you're all having this conversation, an actual waitress for the club comes to you with 2 chilled bottles of champagne and like 2 ice buckets, and like she's not really holding 4 champagne glasses, so much as like you can't hear her because the noise in this place is so loud, but if you look at her very closely, you can tell that she's like kind of humming to herself, and as a result, 4 champagne glasses are kind of hovering around her shoulders.
Oh, that's so badass.
And then she like comes to you. She doesn't say anything yet. You can you can tell when you're looking like really close. Like she's kind of focusing very intensely. So like she struggles not to maintain eye contact with any of you because she's worried that she will be compelled to say hello, like to actually start greeting you, and then she'll stop humming and then the glasses will break and then she'll be in a whole lot of trouble. So she puts the 2 ice buckets down, reaches towards her shoulders gingerly and tries to like grab the glasses by the stems, and when she actually has them in her hand, she actually like sighs and says, "Hi and welcome to Club Onyx. I'm so glad that you've come to join us after tonight's clash, and I hope that you enjoy your stay here." She puts a glass in front of each of you, and then she whistles, and one of the bottles pop inside their ice buckets, and then she grabs it while it's just as it's popped and starts pouring.
You know, that was a pretty dang impressive trick.
Thank you. I've been kind of musically gifted since just a little bit before the drop happened. So but I've never been able to like make it like my thing. So I guess I just do it around here. Try to do some top level magic stuff. See if it'll give me a couple of tips. I'm just telling you all that because you all are actually in the business. So, but yeah.
Oh, we are now, aren't we? Oh,
Nechmet, that's
Yeah.
fine. Well, oh, good. You were gonna say something?
No, go ahead.
Well, you definitely deserve a bigger spotlight than what you've gotten. Hi.
Nachmat, give me a roll.
Yeah. Okay.
I like in that moment when you say that, you have the potential to notice a thing about this bartender.
Okay. Hmm.
I believe it would be observe. I mean, you can also attune if you want.
I think I will attune.
Okay, your position is. Mm, your position is controlled, and your effect is. No, your effect is standard.
Okay. A 6, so a minor success.
Okay. You get the impression, just like vaguely from the vibe that this bartender is giving off. Um, she's really impressed with you all. Like, really, really excited that, like, not only is she in the company of people who are in a clash, but y'all actually, like, you get the impression that part of her excitement is y'all actually seem nice. Y'all are not assholes. She can actually, like, talk to y'all. And she's like, well, I hope you enjoy your evening, and if there's anything that you need, feel free to ask for me by name. My name is Cheryl. And she points at her name tag, and she's, anything that you need, more drinks, more food, I'd be happy to help you. And then she just skips away.
Oh, before you leave,
Yes?
you want to go first, River?
A plate of fries.
We get a plate of fries, please. And is it? Do you have, by any chance, any fresh juices? I know you probably carry a bunch for mixers, but any chance you have anything more fresh?
Oh, yes. Between you and me, the boss likes to keep the fresh drinks off the menu, but I'd be more than happy to give you whatever you want. Uh, Pineapple, orange, guava, passion fruit. Just let me know.
Orange and pineapple would be perfect.
Cool, and that's a glass for each of you then?
Anyone else want?
What's this upside? This whole rest looks.
no. Nuh-uh. River?
It's a musical thing. That's a good one, right?
River, do you want to be knocked on your ass for the rest of the night?
River takes that as a threat to not order that drink.
While that's happening, like Cheryl also says, so about the fries, do you want the Monster Bowl or the Monster X Bowl? And then she points at the menu, and you see that in the finger food section, there is like the only two orders of fries that are on the menu is a portion of fries that is like like 3/4 of a pound of fries in a shallow bowl.
Aye.
And a pound and a half of fries with like hot sauce like poured all over it. Like almost like it's like poutine if all of the best parts of poutine were replaced with Moruga
Hot
scorpion
sauce?
pepper sauce.
So better.
How
I
dare
mean,
you?
I would say better, but it depends on the rest of y'all.
I mean, there's someone who
Canadian.
can't eat cheese. Better.
So would you
A
like either of
smaller
those?
one?
So the Monster Bowl. Okay, cool. And that's it's gonna be enough for you for all of you. So I'll just bring one, and then she skips off. While that is happening, Ava.
Yes.
In fact, no. This is for everybody.
Okay.
A thing is about to happen. Well, a thing is happening elsewhere in this space that you'll have the opportunity to like potentially observe. If you roll observe, everyone's position is controlled, and everybody's effect is standard except for Ava, whose effect is great.
Okay, making the roll.
Which stat is it again?
Observe.
Observe.
I already established I have 0 in observe, so yeah, I'm about to.
Full success.
That, I think, the threshold of a minor success.
I think mine's a regular
Okay.
success.
Okay. So that's Katie and Amber got regular
Let me
successes.
just.
Ava got a minor, and Oliver strained. Okay, cool. Um, Ava, you hear chanting somewhere elsewhere. It sounds like a lot. It sounds a lot like the same energy that folks had when you all came in. Um, you turn to the front door and you can't see anyone of note. Mostly because the crowd is just like really overwhelming. River Nachmat, you notice that entering not through like the VIP door that you all entered through, but entering like from through like a service space on the other side of the ballroom, you can see Stella and the horoscopes being ushered by a stage manager through this back door, and everybody has seen them and has now like latched onto them and is chanting Stella, 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 and like you can see they are out of their depth a little bit, but they're kind of taking it in stride and they've just like decided to just like blend in and chill out. Oliver, you see the exact same thing. Let me remind myself of these girls' names. Right. You are not really looking at them in space in this moment. You're kind of just experiencing them kind of briefly. Like for a moment, it's not. This is not so much like this experience that you're having is not so much magical, like so much as it's like when you're on a dance floor and the music is very loud and the crowd is very big, and then this moment where you just kind of zone in on a thing, and that's the only thing that you see or experience for a good moment in time. And you are having that experience right now, just watching them pass through the dance floor. And in that moment, like you're just kind of acutely aware of the fact, don't these kids seem quite young to be in a nightclub at this hour of the night? On a school night, in a school term, and like you have that thought and instinctually nudge Ava with your elbow.
Well, I suppose everybody can celebrate their party attitude. Just to clarify, Stella performed today, right? They just weren't part of our set.
Yes,
They
they performed
lost.
against. Yeah, they performed against Weirder and lost before y'all performed.
So that they're even out even after kind of because losing is one thing, but losing specifically to Weirder and probably how Weirder would approach that, the fact that they're out at all is on top of the fact that they shouldn't be here, kind of a surprise.
Yeah, no, like you are like mentally experiencing all of those thoughts as if somebody's expressing them to you in this moment. It's how vivid you are witnessing this thing. Why are these kids here? Isn't it a school night? Aren't they being surrounded by drinks and alcohol? Didn't they lose? Like, don't they just want to be home? And like while you're seeing that, like you have enough wherewithal to notice Devlin just kind of part through like a clump of the crowd and like walk over to them, and like he puts a hand over two of the girls' shoulders on either side.
Death.
And you can't be sure because the the dance floor is actually quite big and the crowd is quite large and a lot of things are happening. But if they continued in the path that Devlin was walking, they're either walking towards a VIP staircase or walking towards the bar.
Hey, aren't
On-
those your students?
Yeah, I guess on reflex, if we notice this immediately, Oliver kind of gets up sharply enough to knock the chair that we're sitting on over, and then just kind of like stands in a, wait, what was I doing?
What's the game plan, Ava?
Hold.
Has anyone actually let Ava know a thing? Because Ava is the one person out of the four of you who has not seen anything.
Yeah. Beat. Wait, those were teenagers.
Who were They're
Aren't
teenagers.
those still in the
this one?
horoscopes?
Yeah.
At this
that's
time
the
of
one.
year, at this time
My-
of day, localized entirely within this kitchen.
My students are here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess so. I'm not like I know them or anything, but
Two
Oh, no,
questions.
it's
Two questions. One, do you need a mask? Because I have a spare one with me at all times.
Oh no, Ava's already masked.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
No.
you still have your mask?
Oh yeah.
It's important
Ava's-
to carry a mask at all times.
Exactly.
Stares at camera.
Ava sort of stands up and grabs like her glass of champagne, and she's like, I hope what he's wearing is very expensive. And she's gonna just start storming down towards Devlin and the girls.
Okay. And you make it through like the crowd of people, like gingerly holding this like very full glass of champagne. None of you have actually taken a sip of champagne at this point yet. This
Yeah.
glass is like
River
almost
runs-
overflowing with drink.
River runs after Ava and grabs the bottle because
Oh
in
god.
case you need a refill.
You're walking through the crowd, and like you come just across like Devlin and Stella and the horoscopes, like just like somewhere in the middle of the dance floor. And Devlin looks up to you and says, "Hey, y'all are here too? I didn't know y'all came in. I hope you're enjoying yourselves. Avail yourself of all of the food and drink that Club Onyx has to offer on the company dime, of course. So you get a taste of what the high life looks and tastes like. And I'd actually like to talk to you all later about a thing, but as of this moment, I just need to move these girls out of this space a little bit. What do you do in this moment?"
I'm gonna look at the girls first. I need to see how much of this is their idea to be here.
Give me either an observe or an attune roll.
I'm gonna go with a tune because I'm really good at that.
Cool.
And also, if I'm good, if I'm super good at that, I want to describe some like effects that are happening to intimidate Devlin.
Okay, so
Alright.
for your attune roll, your position is desperate. Mark is accorded.
Cool. That's some flow XP.
And your effect is limited.
That's a standard success.
Okay. Right. So there is this moment. While it's just like looking at them. You make this deliberate decision in this moment. I want to gain some kind of magical sense of what's taking place over here. This seems kind of funny. And use like your vision kind of narrows as you look at the like head of the group, the Stella of Stella and the Horoscopes, who you know, like Stella is like not her name. You know that her name is. Where did I write that again? Right.
Cruella.
Her name is Estelle Howard. She's not like. She's been in one of your homerooms before, but you don't teach her. You just know her very well because she's on campus. She's been doing the singing thing in like school shows and like theater
Like
stuff.
chorus and
Yeah.
stuff.
You know that she's very talented. You know that she's very shy. You know that she kind of like struggles with the limelight in a big way. And like while you're looking at her, there's this moment where you just kind of like observe visually that she seems very nervous and very confused in this moment. Like everything is like dazing her. And like that vision kind of dims and narrows into the sight of just Estelle in her school uniform, which is a big deal to you because like nobody has to wear a uniform at your school, but there is one. um and like the everything surrounding you all is like totally gone. You're just like imagining the sight of Estelle just standing in like this empty ballroom in her school uniform, and you can hear Devlin's voice kind of like in voiceover in the room, saying, okay, here's what. I know that I can make some very weird and creepy decisions in this industry, but I think I draw the line at teens drinking in the middle of the night. So I'm gonna call y'all a cab and y'all can like sleep over at somebody's house or something because I don't want the tabloids to say I brought y'all champagne. And then it just kind of zooms back out and you're back in the ballroom again.
Less death for Devlin.
Give me a one die fortune roll. When that vision stops, give me a one die fortune roll. Did you strain? If am I remembering that? Am I remembering those numbers correctly?
Can I strain on fortune? Because if I can
That's
strain
actually just the cusp of a stunning performance.
Ah,
Oh, sweet.
right, cool. You almost said that aloud, but you didn't. But there is like this moment, like Devlin is like looking at you very intensely, like, "Are you okay? Do you need? If you need anything, I could call. Stage managers are here. Waitresses are here. If you need anything."
I was just glad to see my fellow performers here, though it's a little wild to see them. And say again, good job, girls.
You said girls. Yes, yes. Give me. There is a skill for. There's an action for this. I just need to.
What?
figure out
Whoa.
what it
I don't know what I triggered.
Yeah.
There's an
Rada's just like,
action
you've
for
activated
You
my
said the
grab
secret
card.
word.
Yay!
Um,
Secret word. Suddenly slime.
um. How many dots do you have in Mingle?
I don't think I have any. I have 0. I am a direct person, not a mingler.
Cool. If I recall correctly, this action is still supposed to be called sneak. Do you have any dots in sneak?
I do.
Wow.
You do?
Why?
I have a dot in sneak.
Right. So I will say that this can be a sneak roll because you are attempting to like conceal your identity.
Oh, I thought they already knew it was me.
Like
Ava straight up believes that they know.
they have reason to
that
believe,
there's
but they haven't confronted you. They haven't confronted you about anything yet. This is to
Okay.
determine whether they know for a fact or not. Your position is desperate, and your effect is limited.
Yeah. That makes sense, baby. I think I just have to, like, being true to myself. I don't think this can be a sneak roll because Ava already thinks that they know. So I think this is just gonna be a mingle roll.
Okay, I will also say that I do have a devil's bargain for you if you want to actually end up rolling a die.
Oh, ooh,
Do it.
what? Hold on. What's a devil's bargain?
Right. So this has never come up in a game of Soundclash yet, but as in Blades, um, I there are moments when I, as the stage manager, can offer you a future complication or consequence. Um, and if you take it, you will get +2 to your roll or a die in the event that you have no dice. Do you want to hear what? Do you want to hear what it is?
Tell me.
You get
Tell
to
me.
say
Tell me what this devil's bargain is, because I'm
because
totally into it.
because you get to say no if you don't you don't like it. For in exchange for a die for this roll, though I will start a 4-segment clock. That when that clock fills, everyone in school will know that you are a performer in a cordial eclectic. Everyone will literally know who you are by mask, as a result of some other incident that will take place in the future, regardless of the result of this roll.
Oh.
You can say yes or no to that.
Let's do it. It's messy. I love messy. Let's go.
Yes.
Woohoo!
The only correct choice.
Okay.
Exactly.
Did you roll? Is that 17 your roll?
No, that is the luck roll for me
Ah.
not saying less death for Devlin.
Right. Yes. Okay. Cool. So you get to roll one die for this action roll instead of rolling 2 dice and taking the more
Alright.
volatile. Your position is desperate and your effect is limited.
Let's go. Perfect. Amazing.
Yay!
Spectacular.
Wow. Right.
That is 3 ticks on that clock. No.
Right. So what I was going to say to correct was, that the clock would start with 1 tick, but because you just failed this, it starts with 2.
That's yep. Mm-hmm.
Because you say that, and like, Estelle looks at you, one of the other girls who you don't like really recognize, and you can't tell if it's because you've never taught her or because like they're still in their stage costume and it's still a bit dazzling, not only by itself but with like the strobe lights and stuff hitting it. But you can tell like a couple of the girls are looking at you very peculiarly. And Estelle tilts her head. And before she can say anything, Devlin is like, I'll get back to you just now, but I need to like usher these girls out a little bit, so I'll get back to you just now, and like walks away with them.
Oh, they know that was me. Yep, no, they saw me. Apparently he's trying to get them out of the club, which is great. I need a drink. And she just drains her champagne and starts like, I know that you said that they were either going to the VIP section of the bar, and now now that it's clear that like when he's trying to get them out, she's just like beelining for the bar and is just like, nope, I can't deal with this right now. I nearly killed a man.
Or who was behind you with the champagne went up, keeps going.
So like there's this kind of awkward this awkward kind of position as well where you can see that Devlin is like turning like mildly diagonally so he could shift through the crowd at its natural movement and try to get to the exit. But now that you've decided that you're walking to the bar, you now have to like linger in that walk with him for like a good foot and a half, and Estelle is looking right at you.
Listen, I don't know what you want me to roll for this, Brandon, but Ava makes people clear the way so she can go to the bar faster and end this awkwardness. I'm pretty sure I do. I need to. I have my sheet right here. Make way. You push yourself. You may push yourself to do one. Push push a crowd apart to make room.
Yes.
I will say, because you all have to like indulge in vice as well, I will say that the capacity of the crowd makes it that you can use make way without having to push yourself.
Oh, but it's funny if I go up to 6 stress.
I mean, you could do that too. I didn't know how much stress you had. I thought all of y'all were like maxed out to hell at this point.
No, Oliver's about to like break down, but Ava's like only like mildly about to break down.
Quite stress here.
That's the music industry can do that to people. So yeah, and you make it to the bar, and like there's this tall, slim, olive-skinned man on the other side of the bar. Looks at you kind of quizzically and points at the champagne glass that is still in your hand.
I would like to roll to see if I sneakily filled it with champagne when she wasn't looking.
I'm story.
Oh Lord! Oh Lord!
If this ends up badly, I want to ruin Ava's other.
Your position is risky. Your effect is limited.
Worth it. No matter what happens.
What action are you rolling?
Sneak?
6 is minor success.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Right. There's a moment when like you like lean over from like the side, because like if it's not holding it like at a height that would make it easy for you to pour. So like you are craning this bottle over your head and over the heads of other people in the bar to pour this. But you successfully...
I would like to accidentally empty the whole bottle in favor of filling Ava's glass.
Oh, good Lord. That's not what happens. What
Okay.
happens instead is you do fill the glass like up to halfway, and then you notice that like if you keep trying to do that at this point, you will spill some, so you stop.
Or we could say that River just fucking does
Nah,
it. Let's go. We can do it.
Nope. Nah, we're not.
Character choices.
A minor success is not a failure. We can't do that. So this bartender is like, did you come here to exchange the drink for something?
Ava just like stares, like a blank stare in their face. I'd like another drink, please. Could I please have a whole rest?
Ah!
Whole rest coming up. And you see like whole bottles of stuff. Like, you know how some bartenders show off and just like reach for several bottles with their whole hand. Like there is like coconut rum and overproof and like some brown rum and some flavored vodka and like there's this like long tall bottle of what you get the impression is like some kind of juice, like some pineapple or passion fruit juice, that you just get the vague impression, just because you know how how bars like these work, that like they have like that like bottle by itself has been spiked with something like vodka or something like that, and like he like flicks out some like 2 small bottles like food coloring or something like that, takes this long highball glass, puts exactly 1 spherical piece of ice at the bottom of it, pours like 6 or 7 or 8 bottles of alcohol into that glass at the same time, all the way to like just at the top. Starts like squirting in little drops of food coloring and mixing until the entire concoction is pitch black. And then he takes the stirrer that he had and taps it at the edge of the glass, and you see like this small like nebula kind of uh, spin in the middle of the glass, where previously all there was blackness. You'd like see like stars moving in the middle of the glass, and then that like nebula constellation starts shifting into the lines of a staff of music, with just a whole rest that
Jesus.
and
Oliver
now
should order
like
this.
that's the only color in the drink, and everything else is absolutely pure clear.
River, if you
Yep.
think you might want this drink, I suggest you take a sip from this before you order one yourself.
Okay. How big is it?
The glass is as tall as your head.
Okay.
Well,
So
just a little bit taller, even. In fact, yeah, it's a tall, slim glass.
River takes a gulp and then sprays it in your face. He goes, ah!
Okay. I need you to give me.
Constitution save.
Um. Hmm. Yeah, this is a fortune roll. Give me a 2 die fortune roll.
I got an 8 and a 9.
Right. Okay. It doesn't taste that bad, but it doesn't taste like something like you enjoy drinking. It doesn't taste like something you're ever going to drink again. It's this one sip. What also happens in that moment, like you have that moment where you're about to say aloud that it's okay, but you don't say it, because when you open your mouth, everything in front of you blurs very briefly, and then returns to normalcy.
That seems dangerous.
That's something. Here, you can have it back.
Yeah, I'll have that back. I have to go refill water, so I think that's a good pin in that scene.
Do you want any more champagne?
Yes.
I would like to, if we're done with that scene, just turn to Oliver. Go. Buddy, is everything all right? You seem to be a little stressed. Like, not to put too fine a point on it, but if we were to go camping right now, you'd have enough tents for the both of us. Like, it looks like you are strained enough for a fresh pot of pasta. Like, what's going on here, buddy?
Oh man, you're coming hard with the jokes today. You are definitely riding high from the performance earlier. And I must say, in a way, so am I. I mean, didn't you feel it?
Which part?
Like, we, with minimal rehearsing, managed to pull together something so... managed to pull together something so astoundingly immense. It's just, yeah. In a way, like, a thing that I knew I was capable of, but also really surprised myself.
Hey, we've always known we have star power.
God, keep them coming. Although, if you're going to go at that speed, you might want to save it for round 2/round 3 of drinks. You need, or are you going to kind of like use the material on fresh faces?
Oh, I've got material for both. And if you're speaking of round 2 of drinks, I'll just slide over my untouched champagne glass. I think they took the bottle with them, so...
They did, but we did order 2. Like Oliver at this point has kind of finished his first glass of champagne and is kind of like holding it lazily in one hand while kind of not looking at it and having a conversation with you. But yeah, fascinating. I mean, like, imagine what we could actually do with some goddamn rehearsal time. That song was something that we kind of not necessarily pulled out of our asses, but the kind of like from farm to table time of that song and development of wasn't that long, only a couple days. So giving it a song actually some time in the oven. Speaking of, I don't actually know what we're going to be performing for the next round. I guess it's one of the classics. I haven't had the time to produce something else unless we have unfinished work that we could dig deep from. I know I have a couple of notebooks with shards of a piece.
We've got enough time to throw something together. But let's not worry about that tonight.
Sure, no, that's true. That's true. I guess now is the time to embrace the opportunity of taking the baby steps of being a celebrity. Upon Ava... Oh, no, we'll wait for this kind of conversation to play out first. So go ahead.
Now that the other two have wandered off somewhere, what are our plans?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm fascinated to actually go and be in that source of the... There's, like, this entire time, there's been the kind of, like, muffled pounding of some kind of, like, disco house in the party room next to this kind of like bar area. There's music in here as well, but we can still on the edge of our hearing feel the boom, boom, boom of what's going on over there. I absolutely need to be in the middle of that. I'll tell you what, actually, yeah, when I was younger, my family and I took a trip out to Barbados for their like harvest festival events, crop over. And it's like, you know, taking an entire 18-wheeler truck, removing the load, putting speakers there instead, having somebody not very much dancing on the top of it. And I just remember the sheer... I mean, maybe it was volume, maybe it was just bass power of the thing. But I couldn't hear my own heartbeat anymore. It was just the sound of the party. And I stopped for a period of time existing. And obviously, once the truck moved away, I could hear my own bodily rhythms again. But for that moment, I was just, you know, part of the wall of sound. I never quite managed to experience music like that again. But this sounds damn fucking close.
Well then, let's go see if we can recreate that experience, shall we?
Sure thing. I don't want to hold fire a second, because I think with both Ava's protectiveness and River's maybe nervous disposition, if they come back from what they went off doing and we're no longer here, I think they'll both have panic attacks for separate reasons.
Nagmat just considers for a moment.
I'll tell you what.
Fair enough.
You go and scope and see if the actual sound on the other side is fresh or garbage, and I'll catch up with you, just so they know where we were going.
I just want it on record that you are telling me to go unsupervised, alone, in towards where the party is, where no one can stop me from doing anything I want to do. Is that correct?
What?
What?
You, unlike the people that Ava went off to see, are not a teenager. You can do what the fuck you want.
Okay. Keep that in mind when whatever happens, and I waltz off.
Okay.
There was a very brief conversation I want to have with Ava when she returns to the table, but
Ava's gonna bring Oliver a whole rest.
Oh Lord. Before you get to the table, I want Oliver and Nagmat to both give me observe rolls.
Again, I am poop at that, so we're doing the 2d6, take the rest.
Right, so your position is... your position is controlled, and your effect is great.
Cool.
Wait, that was 2d6. That was destined not well there.
Oh Lord!
Playing a different game. Playing a very different game there.
I'm out here straining. So I like how your 2d20 rolls were... Wow, both of your 2d20 rolls were the choice between failing and straining.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And straining
So it's up
beats
to you.
failing, so it's
Dealer's choice.
both of you strain.
Mm-hmm.
Where were you headed when you got up, Nagmat? To the center of the dance floor, or to the opposite end of it?
Towards probably like still the outskirts. I'm trying to get a feel for the music. So probably around the dance floor, getting to maybe wherever the speakers and or DJ booth is, or whatever live band or whatever they've got going on.
Okay, cool. So both of you are going to see two different things then. Um, Nahmat, you walk ahead, and at a point you find yourself essentially at dead center of the dance floor. It doesn't even occur to you when you get there. You're just walking. But when you do, there is like this brief sensation. Like it doesn't happen with you focusing on anything. It happens literally to your side, where when you get to that exact dead center point of the dance floor, everything else seems to disappear except for some action that is taking place to what is essentially to your right at this point. And when you turn to face it, it's three of the girls of Stella and the Horoscopes and Devlin sharing these very heated words. It doesn't seem like they're angry at each other. It seems like the girls are frustrated about something, and Devlin is out of his depth to actually like provide any comfort or adequate response to the situation. And as you turn to them, Devlin like looks up at you and gives you a look, and it's similar to the look that you saw when you were on stage. It's similar to the look that he had when he was in his trailer. And then you blink, and you can like hear like a handful of folks right next to them start chanting, Stella, 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 Stella. And like you don't know why. And you can see like a couple of folks, they seem to be like trying to look around and see if any, like you sense that they're looking for someone else, but you don't know who or why, and they're still like chanting on that side. Oliver, you were just minding your own business, chilling at the table, just waiting for folks to come back. And when you hear that chanting, you turn to look at where it's coming from, and you see like the whole din that is taking place there. And when your eyes rest on Devlin, you can like briefly hear Devlin's thoughts. And Devlin's like, this is not good. Tonight's gonna be a fucking debacle, and I don't like it. I need to distract folks before this turns into a mess. And like when that thought finishes, both of you, as you're seeing the crowd at this point, see one of the like stragglers from that crowd turn to Nakmat, and their eyes just kind of widen with this kind of excitement. And the guy points at you, Nakmat, and goes, "Hey, you're Cordial Eclectic, right?"
Ahmed does an exaggerated bow.
You do that, and like a small contingent of people behind you start cheering. And like as you start like straightening back up, you notice that the like a portion of the audience on the dance floor, a portion of like the other patrons on the dance floor, are literally parting. Like they're splitting the dance floor entirely in half. Like half of the people are on the side that is immediately behind you, and the other half is like just a little bit ahead of you, and some of them are like shoving the girls from Stella and the Horoscopes ahead to like face you.
Okay.
And like one and the same guy that points at you actually shouts at Devlin, "How about we get an impromptu gig right here, huh?" And like a handful of folks from like little spots of the audience start cheering in every direction.
Okay. Two questions or one question real quick before I do something. Do the Stella and the Horoscope girls look up for this, or they look very awkward and unhappy about being pushed?
Right. So because Stella and the Horoscopes is actually 5 performers, and you only see 3 at this point.
Okay.
You see
The 3 I see.
yeah, you see Stella and you see 2 other girls. And Stella seems shy, but not like unwelcoming to the kind of attention.
Mhm.
One of the other girls seems to just not like being touched, and
Yep.
you get that. Like, like she literally like briefly like scratches at the air in front of someone, and they pull back their arm. And like the other girl is just like, I guess a thing is about to happen. I don't know what.
Cool.
Um,
I would like to use my hum then, to make a small crowd stop what they're doing.
I want to know how you're what exactly are you trying to like? What is the action that you take?
Yep.
How do you
Yep.
get the crowd's attention?
So Nechmet is going to start seeing this happening, and okay, so there's this dance floor. Is there like, where is the music coming from? Is it just like a DJ booth somewhere?
Yes, it's like there is you can see on like this dance floor that like jutting out of one of the walls, like near where the VIP balcony begins. There's like this disembodied kind of glass case just kind of like hovering against the wall. Like you can tell that somebody had to like step into a staircase and like enter this room and whatever, but the room is actually kind of hovering above the dance floor after that. It's just like this
Yeah.
pure plexiglass DJ booth with 2 like tall men, just like one is like eagerly, it seems less like he's actively like effortlessly mixing and more like he's like drawing vinyl records out of thin air and letting them float behind him while he's like moving discs from turntables and stuff like that. And the other guy will like briefly tell him something that you can't hear and then go back to his phone.
Cool. So then here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just start literally humming as I walk towards the DJ booth. I'm gonna mark the 2 stress to push myself to do my hum. And what I want with like the initial effect as I'm passing by people is just to cause people to pause for just a second, long enough for me to like get to the DJ booth. And I'm going to just grab a microphone. Go. I'm gonna borrow this for a second.
You have to tap like it's full.
Yeah.
It's like
Okay, full code.
sealed glass, so you kind of have to tap to get the guy's attention.
Cool. Perfect. Then I'm gonna. Yeah.
And like he like lowers like one of like, you know how like some like bank tellers and stuff have like a screen that they have to lift in order to like hand you your money and stuff like that. He has one of those, and he gives you a cordless mic and then closes it back.
I remember, like as I like he pulls down. I'm gonna go, 2 quick options: you hand me a mic right now, or you have to explain why there were teenagers doing a gig at your performance at a nightclub.
The guy on the phone briefly raises his head and goes, "What the fuck?" And the other guy that like puts a finger to his lips, gives you a cordless mic and then closes it.
Perfect. Then I'm going to turn and just tap the microphone to do the feedback thing to get everyone to like look my way.
Mm-hmm. Oh, everybody permanently has given you their attention at this point.
Cool. All right. Well, you all seem excited for a gig, yes? Why don't
and
I
you
give
hear
you a
the
solo
crowd start
encore?
charging. Like there's this moment where the crowd is like briefly confused. Like they were just sharing the idea of seeing a performance and they just like briefly get confused, and then they turn to Devlin. And in this moment, because both of y'all strained, I'll say that both of y'all can like get this kind of feedback from Devlin's brain. In fact, I know what this is. Both of you give me a 1 die fortune roll.
Ooh. That's great.
Okay.
But then, you know, if rolling high for fortune is a thing, then
It's
I
because
don't think we learned that. Oliver isn't paying as much attention.
right. You are still right. So Oliver, you are still in Devlin's brain. Like you can still like hear his thoughts and stuff like that.
Mm.
But he doesn't notice you. Nakmat, because you strain. Devlin like is like looking around very confused, like still having these panic thoughts. This is gonna go to shit. People like, why do you have to make a scene about the thing? And then he pauses, turns to you, and goes, "Are you in my head?" He doesn't say it aloud, but you can hear him in his head.
I think I'm not sure. I don't know if he hears me or not.
Do you think that that's the thought that you think? You're not sure?
Yeah.
How can you not be sure? I'm hearing
Okay, so I'm
you.
in your head.
And-
Get these
and,
girls
like,
out of here.
And he's like you, his hands are moving, like he's talking to you, and like he has to like pause and go. And Stella is looking at him like, why are your hands moving? And then he like pauses, like tries to like reassure her, then turns back to you. I'm in a bit of a pickle, as you can see.
Well, I'm going to create a performance, and that's going to keep people's attention. You get them out of here, then deal with your pickle later.
No, it's bigger than that. If they need to get out of here, fine, cool. I don't want them to drink either. There's no way that this night looks better for me. I'd like for them to just go home, but I don't just mean that.
Okay, well, what's your pickle?
I mean, I ordered a car for them and it's frozen outside.
Frozen how?
I mean, if you'd like to make a drink the size of a skyscraper, there's a limousine that you can use as an ice block.
I see. Weird. I just think one word. Weirda?
And you can tell that he's trembling from where you're standing because you can feel your head
Yeah.
like shake.
Okay. Well then.
No, you don't understand. I need you to listen to me. You need to get these girls out of here. You need to keep an eye on... And there's a moment when you hear him think her name, and then it immediately gets drowned out by him thinking dozens of things at once. Thinking about the cost of organizing this clash, trying to remember the names of every individual performer other than the members of WEDA, trying to like literally count from 1,000,000 back to 1. And then he stops.
Cool.
And goes, we need to either make a distraction or you need to get all of us out of here. One
Okay.
of the two.
So, Nahmat is going to reach behind her back and text blind on her phone to the rest of the group or Discord. Get them out of here. I'll make a distraction.
Give me an operate roll.
Do I have any operate? No, I definitely don't. No, I don't.
The
Yikes.
level of autocorrect bullshit that is about to be sent through this text message is going to be great.
A strain.
Oh! Okay, you send the message.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pay attention to the response.
But you
what gets
don't
sent.
but you don't send the message to the group.
Ooh.
You send the message singularly to Ace Fan.
Okay. That's fine.
You don't know that.
I'll agree
You
with
don't
you.
know. You don't know that. But for the purposes of letting you know
Yeah.
that happened, Ace Fan
That-
got that message and no one else did.
I'd like to pass the scene off. I'd like to set up like my distraction, but do after because I've been on this for a while, so I'd like to pass this on to the other group.
Right. Yes.
But I think what Nahmat will go. Right then. Well, if we want a performance, I'd like to dedicate this one out to people who are out there somewhere I know listening in. Weirda, this one's for you. Anyways,
To antagonism, go!
let's pass on to the other group for a minute.
I'm gonna ask you to do a roll for me, but not yet.
Yeah.
I'm going to actually, of all the people who have like not been the immediate focus of a scene, I'm going to pass immediately to River. River, what are you doing at this present moment now?
So, I think it would be funny if Valet like got the drink she wanted, or Ava. I keep Anyway, Ava disappeared into the crowd, and River is now alone
Wait, where are you alone? Are you alone
in
in
the
the?
middle of the dance floor, or whatever this is.
Okay, so all of this is happening. You are like surrounded by a handful of people on the other half of the dance floor, the side behind where Nakmat presently is.
Yes.
You are noticing all of this happening. Give me, give me an attune roll.
And a tune roll. Cool.
Your position is controlled and your effect is standard. Yes, normal attune roll.
6. Minor success.
Okay. Um, you just get the vague, relatively unassuming idea that something very terrible is going to happen in this physical space. You don't know what it is, you don't know who's going to happen to. You just get the vague sense something reckless is going to happen in this space. The moment that you have that thought, a Cheryl again comes around to you, gives you like a plastic bottle of um, orange and pineapple juice.
Ooh.
Asks you, hey, is everything okay? You seemed kind of dazed back there for a little bit.
It looks like I lost track of just, all my friends, and now I guess I'm here. Are there supposed to be events happening here, or are we all just like hanging out? There's no like
I mean, it's just
something to
supposed
participate in.
it's supposed to just be an opportunity to chill out after every leg of the clash and stuff like that. But sometimes, Devlin likes to do like these weird kinds of like pop up individual competitions, like just like to give people an opportunity to continue showing off their skill and stuff like that. So people tend to be conditioned, especially at the club, to like expect that if two contestants are in the same space, they're gonna like push them to do an impromptu clash or some crap like that. I actually think it kind of sucks. Like you just want to hang out, right? You just want to relax, and I get that, but that's the way those things go.
Kind of loud to chill out in here.
I mean, this is what people like, right?
I guess. Starting to get louder because it's so much music. Okay.
So
I get a
while
feeling
that's
something's about to go down.
so while that's happening, I just want to clarify. Ava, you have drunk from a thing already for the evening, right? River had that one like drop of
Whole rest.
a whole rest.
Mhm.
Oliver and Nakma, have either of you had any champagne for the evening?
Ahmed doesn't drink.
Right.
Oliver finished at least one glass of champagne themselves.
Cool. So I want to be sure then with Nachmat before everything else goes haywire. What vice are you going to indulge in? What vice have you indulged in before we have gotten to this point?
Oh, this
So we can
performance
make-
is gonna be my vice.
Oh ho, okay. Cool. That's gonna be delightful. So I want everyone except Nachmat to do their vice indulgence. Let's clarify how that's supposed to happen.
Oh my goodness. Part of me is kind of like, while this is maybe an attempted thing of indulging a vice, I don't think a glass of champagne is going to cut it. Like, it feels like, oh, I just lose a point of stress rather than necessarily the indulging therein. But hey, we can make the full roll for it.
I mean, I still kind of like. I think it'd be funny. I don't know if Oliver would accept it. Just the whole rest from Ava,
I
because
mean, yeah,
it makes
Oliver
her.
would probably drink that, but there would maybe be a conversation with that. But I think the moment for that has now passed with the way the stakes are currently set. I guess where we currently are, it would be a moment of that, but it's interrupted by the fact that all hell is breaking loose.
Yes. Hold on.
If you still wanted to have it, it could happen like in between when Devlin starts thinking to us again. Like when we first hear the thoughts, and then when we second hear the thoughts, that's when you have the conversation.
I think the moment has passed. Let's not sweat it.
Hey.
Cool. Hold on as I find the thing. Right, so you roll dice equal to your lowest attribute. Right, so you will. I can't remember if this was a number of d20s or d20s plus a thing. Wait, no. This is actually d6s. That's what the case is, right? So you will roll a number of d6 equal to your lowest attribute, and clear stress equal to your highest die result. One of the few times that you roll d6s in the game, because the game would be broken otherwise.
Let's see. Okay. Well,
we will start. I want to do it in order, in like a certain order, so I like keep track of everybody's. So we will start with Ava. What is your lowest attribute?
How do we calculate attributes?
Right. Because I keep forgetting that the sheets that you see are not perfect or ideal either. The
so
number of your
flow,
attributes.
force, and form, right?
Yes, flow, force, and form are your attributes, and the numbers that you have in those attributes would be equal to the number of first dots that you have in actions associated to that attribute.
Neat. All right. That's 2. That's 2. Study answer. So I have 2 in all of them.
Okay, cool. So you will roll 2d6.
Yeah. Okay. Woo.
Ooh, you get to clear 6 stress. So you have
this
no
whole
stress.
rest really puts you out, man.
You just like this whole rest has suddenly like alleviated you of all of your pressures in the world. It's like this was the one drink that you needed this evening. Next, Oliver.
Sure thing. So Oliver's lowest stat is form, with only one related skill. So I'll be rolling 1d6. I was kind of hoping that would be lower, actually, but that's fine. Yeah, I roll a 6, so I clear 6 points of stress.
Okay. Duly noted. River. Please indulge your vice for me.
Okay, my lowest attribute is 2.
How much stress do you have?
2, but that's fine.
Okay.
I will say I gained stress while I was there.
If you don't want to do the thing, I will let you know, because overindulgence is also a thing. So if you don't want to roll your vice indulgence, that's also fine, because we just say that you haven't actually drank anything.
I'm going to give myself 2 stress for being at a party and then roll.
Oh my god! Are you sure?
Yep. Let's go. Boop. 9.
Your highest is a 6, so you've cleared more stress than you actually gained, which means that you overindulge.
Cool. What's next?
The rules for overindulgence in Soundclash don't exist yet, so we're going to look at what they look like in Blades. When you overindulge, you're supposed to take a complication as a result, which is either attract trouble, where you select another entanglement, which in this game would be selecting another PR engagement, but because you don't have any right now, you can't do that. You can brag about your exploits, which will gain you +2 heat.
Get us up to that 6, huh?
Or you can do well. You could. These two things are also perfectly possible in this moment, but it would require a great deal of drama from you in this moment. You can become lost, which means that you will no longer be playing River Song until a period of time. You wander off in a period of stress and confusion, and then you play someone else until and
Like
then
a
return.
fugue state?
Essentially, yeah, you just become so overwhelmed by being at a party that you just walk out and forget where you are. Or
pushing vices in stuff like this are definitely it's a very fuck around and find out circumstance. There's supposed to be a risk in overindulging quite genuinely.
Overindulgence is a big deal, which is why I wanted to be sure. Or you
I didn't know what the consequences were. This is a learning moment for us all.
Oh sure. I mean, I guess it was suggested that it would be a problem to overindulge, but yes, let's explore what happens on the other side of that.
I will say the one obvious thing that definitely makes sense in this moment is that you brag, of course. That in this moment, you are so overwhelmed and looking for an opportunity to not have to deal with all the noise and stuff that
I would like to use my my tie clip to change the music of the club to the song that we played during the clash.
Okay. You do that. And give me a 1 die fortune roll.
Here be the consequences that we're reaping. It's nat 20. It's a nat 20.
Wow! I love straining in this game. It's so perfect. Right. So you somehow magically change the music that is playing in the DJ booth to a recording, even though there is no audio recording, of your performance on stage.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do so, a holographic meteor appears in the ceiling of Club Onyx. Nakhmat, you automatically get +2 to anything that you're about to do right now. Depending on what you're about to do, I will even say it's +4, but I need to hear what the thing is. So what are you going to do?
I am going to give a performance. I'm going to give a freestyle performance to this crowd that wants one.
Okay, so that performance, I'm going to say, is either a sway if you're singing, an operate if you're playing an instrument solo, like if you're instrumentalizing and not singing, or a tune if you want to focus on the magical energy dependent on the magic instead.
I'm perfectly fine with sway. Sway works for me.
Cool. So you're swaying. So you're swaying +2.
Well,
your position is desperate, and your effect is great. Mark accordingly.
Cool. I'll go mark accordingly. Also, before I roll, I got a little bit down of, I think, what Nakhmat's performance is, if y'all don't mind.
What's that?
I got a little bit down of what Nakhmat's performance is.
Oh-ho.
So Nakhmat will smile after the dedication. What's the audience's feeling after I say I dedicate this to Weirda?
The crowd. The crowd freezes for a moment, is briefly confused, and then somebody right behind Devlin is "Ooh, shots fired!" And you see people actually taking out their phones and stuff.
Yeah, perfect. And now
prepare to record this.
And now our song is playing because of River too.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So Nechmet will just smile at the crowd. Go. With stars, our songs fill the sky. Your lyrical crimes make connoisseurs cry. We soar over Mars, yet you can't even fly. Our presence sublime. Your aesthetics just dry like unseasoned stew. So why even try? Going against you might as well be a bye. You think you're ghost with a boast, but you're actually toast. Going up against us, you're straight up roast. You bar, we riposte. No politeness, I ain't your host. Show you up at every venue from coast to coast. Audience engrossed, cause we're foremost in the post. Your yesterday's news like your own grave post. So go on stage, claim, look at us, we're the best. Face us in the ring, we'll put those skills to the test. And before you flee in shame, say it was merely in jest. Shut up, hear us sing, we'll send you to your final rest.
Yeah, did you write that? Or did
Yeah.
you just free? Oh my god! Oh my god! Okay, this sway plus 4. Sway plus 4.
Okay.
Position desperate, effect great. Oh wow! Oh wow!
And 11.
Okay. 11 is success, right?
Yep.
You have the crowd in an uproar. You have the crowd in an uproar. Like people are like chanting. They're stomping their feet on the dance floor. People like throwing their fists in the air. There are like a handful of people who are like sitting near to some of the like the tables that they had set aside on the raised portion of the dance floor. Some of them are actually so rowdy that they start taking chairs and lifting their chairs in the air and stuff like that. It's a lot. People are like trying to touch the edges of the holographic meteor that River has just placed in the room. You have the entire audience's attention. Give me an observe roll.
Cool.
I didn't even
That's
say. Right. Yes, because I was gonna say control standard anyway. And while this is happening, like while you're still spitting, you look over at Stella and the horoscopes, and they are enwrapped by you in this moment. They're like, this is the cool. Like you can tell, just like in their eyes, they're like, this is the coolest thing ever. I want to be able to do cool shit like this. I want to know that my music has the capacity to actually like take people's attention away from like weird and creepy stuff and like refocus it into good, hopeful, potential things. And while you notice that, you also notice Devlin, who you still kind of have a telepathic link at. He doesn't, like, for a moment, it doesn't register to him that he still has a telepathic link, so he's, like, trying to get your attention as he thinks, okay, that's good enough, but maybe we should, like, fucking dive now? Ava, while all of this is happening, you, Oliver, and River all get a message from Ace Fan. On, like, while you're all at opposite, sides of the dance floor at this point, and the message says, "I've got transport outside if you're ready." And like, they send you the same animated sticker from before of the spy and the fedora and their eyes left and right, and then you hear a bang outside. Nobody else notices it. Everybody else is enwrapped. But the three of you get that message. Nakmat, you notice that you get a message from Ace Fan, but you're like still live. And then Devlin looks at his phone very awkwardly, looks up at y'all, makes this like weird hand signal that you have no idea what it means. Like he's trying to send you like a code or something like that. And then he taps Stella on the shoulder and gestures for the back door, and they all make it towards the back door.
Check,
So-
please.
So Oliver heard, tangentially also heard the conversation earlier with Devlin about the circumstance he's kind of going through.
Right, you heard all of that, but Devlin doesn't know that you are also in his head.
Yes.
So yeah.
Mm.
You heard that entire
this is now
conversation.
corroborated with Ace's like message.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether Oliver would have necessarily heard Nakmat's side of the conversation. After all, we're not that it's not a three-way like
Yeah.
the telecommunication cables aren't connected to all of us simultaneously. So I think I only really heard Devlin's side of the conversation. But upon hearing the explosion outside or the bang outside, Oliver gets up, and however, at one point of the kind of like passing period of time of maybe Eva making their way back to the table, maybe she does, and Oliver kind of like picks up the glass that she offers and has, without really putting the glass down, walks to the front of the club and outside.
Okay.
I think Eva's just confused about everything that's going on right now.
Mhm.
It's like she is down the strength, and it's probably like starting to work.
Yeah, yeah. I guess as like a parting message, and probably with the weird blurring effect that River had when she took just a sip of the thing, through in kind of like a muffled low pass filter, Oliver replies to Eva, "You should probably go find River," and on that leaves the table to go out the front.
Okay. River, what do you do?
I assumed I disappeared.
Just like headed outside immediately.
It would be funny if you all ended up outside and then River was there.
Yeah, like River just like couldn't take the inside anymore. It's just like, oh, that's where you all were.
Sure, you've already wandered off.
Found you.
And Nahmat, you have already gotten enough like signals from everybody involved to let you know that they're already headed outside. The crowd is already like in such a stupor that they wouldn't even notice if you like just disappeared suddenly. And when you all make your way outside, you see a black tinted window panel van waited for you outside. Um, as soon as like every single one of you is outside, it honks its horn twice.
Clarifying point. If Devlin and the kind of like teens headed out the back, where is this kind of like a pickup van for him? Just checking.
This is like a service parking lot for the club that leads directly into an alley that leads directly into a hex intersection that heads like northeast.
And some back roads in between.
Yeah.
Then was that like bang sound, the sound of the car, or was it something else?
Give me a roll to determine where that came
Sure.
from.
I mean, for the most part, Oliver goes outside to see what the bang is more than to be picked up by the car. If they're one and the same or in the same direction, that's fine. But yeah, I can make a roll for that. Again, I don't have observe, so I'll just roll the 2d20 and take the west.
Okay, your position is desperate and your effect is limited.
A minus success if we're taking the west result.
Okay. You like when you come out, because you come out just like a ways before everybody else comes out. The van is not here yet. When you get when you have gotten outside, it's just you, Devlin, and Stella and the horoscopes. And that's when you see a large block of ice fall from the sky and land in a dumpster in this parking lot. When you go over to inspect it, it is the engine block of a limousine, frozen completely solid.
Yeah, let's see. How best to react to that? I mean, I think so. If Oliver's stress was higher, they would have probably had a more immediate, not necessarily violent, but quite impulsive reaction to this. But their stress is now back down to 3. So the response is still surprised because, you know, it happened suddenly, but considerably more measured. At this point, we know who did this and why. So it's like Oliver turns back to Devlin and the I guess 3 of the 5 teens. Devlin.
No, it's the whole crew there. It's
Okay, they've all
5 of them.
reconvened.
Yeah.
I was wondering. It's good that the other wayward teens are at least accounted for, since apparently they showed up without a chaperone. So, welcome to nightlife, kids.
One of the other girls turns to Devlin and goes, "Does this shit always happen? 'Cause I don't think we signed up for whatever that is." And she points at the dumpster. And Oliver, give me a 1 die fortune roll.
I'll retort while doing the same thing. When she's like, "I didn't sign up for this," and Oliver's like, "You signed up to because he's starting to get slightly drunk. You signed up to go and do magically powered performances as a career. Like, this could have been you on stage if you didn't, like, you know, recite your verses properly. This is what you signed up for. Maybe in a different venue, but that ice block could have been you next round. Part of me wonders why that wasn't you earlier today. You were up against Weird Array."
Okay. Right. Another thing that I keep forgetting is a mechanic in Soundclash that you can invoke at any point in time. Is I'm gonna ask you to resist a consequence of saying that aloud to these teenagers.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I can. The mechanics of resisting is, hey, damage will happen to your character, and you can resist to not take that damage. Is usually how resist is.
Yes.
Or is this like a?
You are resisting, because I'm going to make you roll with flow. You're resisting essentially, emotional damage that's about to occur in the next few seconds if you keep saying
me
the
or
things that
them?
you said. To you.
Okay.
To you.
Sure. Absolutely. I like, because this is a genuine thing that Oliver feels, and in the moment, you know, somebody was pointing like, "Hey, Oliver, that's not a cool thing to say to a teenager." They would have probably been shrugged and been like, "Well, it's true." So if this is a resistance thing of like, resisting the ability to take guilty on result of saying a mean thing to a teenager, I don't think Oliver would resist that roll. I would take the damage.
Oh, you would?
Oh yeah. Well, tell me what damage I am taking first, because I think I need that informed decision. But I think I would probably take the damage.
I know that it's stress, and I was gonna say that it was 3.
Oh yeah. No, I'll take 3 stress damage.
Yeah, you say all of those things. You are not blackout drunk. You're kind of light, and you've only had like a few glasses of champagne compared to like some of the like pure abject poison that you can get in this club. But
well, Eva gave me
yes,
another
you got
rest,
right.
so I'm halfway through that on the way out.
You
This
got
is
a
no
rest. No,
filter,
you
Oliver.
are. Yeah, you are on your ass. I'm wrong. You got 4 stress.
Okay, yeah.
Good lord, we're gonna kill Oliver, aren't we? Yeah, you are. You are in this, like, there's a moment where, like, when you say all of those things, you're in this, like, brief moment when it feels like you're not even really here. It feels like, this feels like, it feels like you're not physical. It feels like you're having this conversation in a dream. All of it feels, like, fleeting and hollow and incorporeal to you. And there's this brief moment, like when you are like perfectly still enough that your your eyes can focus on a singular thing and like
Mhm.
actually see it non-blurrily. And the first thing that you see is not any of the girls. Your eyes focus on Devlin, an abject piece of shit, like one of the worst people that you've met in several days. And he looks at you after you said that and mouths, "What the fuck?" And that's when the panel van pulls up.
Mhm.
And then everybody else appears and it honks. And like now all of you are focusing on the van. What do you do? Also, I will point out from the fortune roll, um, you notice, and several of the girls from Stella and the horoscopes notice, but everybody who comes late does not notice that the entire dumpster is freezing now, slowly gathering ice, and even like small spikes of ice are gathering around the edges of the dumpster. Um, but only you and the girls notice that. And then the panel van pulls up and is blocking the view of it from everybody else. And now it's in front of you. What do you do?
I think I'll write here.
I don't know what's happening, but sure.
And then you see like
Let's-
digital text start appearing on one of the windows on the front passenger side. Yes, this is your ride.
Let's
And like there's a
go.
sliding that there's like a sliding door on the side of it for you all to just like get in the back like it's a bus or something like that.
Oliver puts like the glass with maybe like the last third of the rest down on the floor, like it's being placed on a table out of the way, but it's just in the middle of the parking lot. And just kind of liquids themselves into the back seat of the car.
Okay, so you like sit at the seats right at the back of the van. It's the seating in the panel van is like very much like a bus. Like there's a long bench seating in the back and like these like two-seater like spots on the furthest right hand side that would easily allow for like 13, 14 people to sit comfortably in the back. Well,
Got
to sit
space.
in that that portion of the van. You cannot see the um the driver side of the van because that like portion is like blocked up with this like large thick black material, and on that thick black material is a large LCD screen. When you get into the back, the screen says, make yourself comfortable. This might be a bumpy ride.
Oh, it's autopiloting cab or whatever.
If anybody wants to check the front, they can literally just open the like actual passenger side, driver side doors and see what's actually going on in front if you wanted to.
Oh, Oliver does not move.
Nahmat will take a peek.
Okay. Are you gonna open the door? Or are you gonna look through the tint? Are you gonna like put your eyes against the tinted
Oh,
tinted
Nahmat will
glass?
open.
Oh, you open it? Okay.
Yeah.
You open the door. The entire front of the panel van is powered by wires. Like there is not a steering wheel here. There's just like the guts of where the steering wheel would be, where wires are connected to all of its inputs. There isn't a gas pedal and a brake pedal. There are just like wires jammed in the bottom. There's large like cables and conduits that are connected from like the dashboard to the back to the other side of the material where the LCD screen is on the side where you all are facing. And they're just like a large like 8-inch by 8-inch card resting on the where the seats would be, but it's just like torn cotton at this point, and the card just reads None your business, Ace fan.
I
Great.
think that's the perfect place to cut on,
Yeah.
since we're getting a little bit later on in the night.
Mm-hmm. This is the last like thing that you witness before like the camera like we cut and the camera pans to this like overhead shot of you all closing the panel van shut and driving off into the middle of the night to destinations unknown, preparing for whatever happens next at this point. And the camera just kind of pans a little bit to the bottom and to the right as we see that the dumpster is now collecting so much ice and like becoming so like hardened that it is actually cracking and breaking in half, and then we cut. That's the end of tonight's session of Soundclash the Clampdown.
It's nice.
Y'all got to do a lot of things.
Yeah.
That was a this nightclub scene was supposed to be a lot more hectic than I initially planned for it to be, and then I wanted to temper some things because a lot is already happening all at once. But what do you think about tonight's session?
Interesting location for Forged in the Dark kind of vibe. There are plenty of ways that could have gone disastrously wrong. So it feels like we've picked one ending of several that could have turned out.
Yeah.
Also
Lots
to
of things.
note that we just left, like nobody else in the club is aware of the kind of danger that they're in. We just left.
Yeah. Devlin
And
could
the
have
song
Devlin
isn't
could have
going
pure
to
died.
stop until they stop playing music.
Yeah, that was a lot. Like, that's how serious the stakes have
Yeah.
kind of gotten at this point.
Nachmat's assumption, whether it's right or wrong, is that the anger is directed towards them / Stella, and so if we leave, it will leave the club. Who knows? But that's what Nachmat's thinking is.
Ava's so far behind on this is going to be great for later.
So yeah, like when we get back into next session, there will be some shenanigans yet to respond to. We may cut directly to the next clash, of course, but there will be well enough opportunities for you to like still ask some questions and stuff before performance actually starts because a lot has happened. Until that next session, though, I would like you all to please tell all the lovely people in chat who you are, what you do, and where people can find you next, starting with Ava.
Hi guys, I'm Vale. I use he, they pronouns. I am on a podcast, Forgotten Eras, where we play Interstitial. I play the Dark Himbo Nyx, and we're getting back into it, so it's really exciting to play. And that's really my main project right now. Still formatting for the honor stuff. Decided to expand and make more games, including a beach episode game, because every traumatic children's show needs like an awesome beach episode that like hits on points. And so, I'm hoping to actually, I've been talking about it for like a year, but I'm hoping to actually get it out soon. And just look for that. Look for news on my Twitter at Bellum Vicencio.
Nice. I look forward to hearing more about For the Honor, because that sounds very hype. Next, Nathan.
I am a knockdown drag-out fight in the VIP area, Nathan Blades. Thank you so much for having me on this stream. I am largely found these days on Twitch at the Neoncaster Twitch channel, where we are doing a lot more we're doing a lot more video game streams at the moment. I'm trying to work my way through the World Ends with You final remix before Neo drops. Also, I'm a VTuber and stuff now, so tuning in this week, you'll be seeing a lot of that. In terms of scheduling of that, what is definitely confirmed for next week is that we will be playing the DLC of Streets of Rage 4 on Friday. But if you want to go and see the general schedule of our streaming, go to twitter.com/Phantom Arts Ent. It is already in the Twitch chat, doobly-doo. And you'll be seeing my schedule probably posted tomorrow. That's me.
Nice. Thank you. Next, Katie.
Hello, everyone. I've been River Song for you tonight. Usually Katie Chin by day. You can find me on Twitter at Katie Peak with the word peak spelled like mountain peak. You can find me on Twitch at Macaroni KTX, but I don't really do much on there right now. Just chilling in the summer, but I have started designing a game in which a vampire has descended upon a town, and the town mayor says only the great clown Pagliacci can save the day. But the thing is, you are the great clown Pagliacci.
Oh,
And that's what I have going on right now.
that definitely sounds like the kind of thing that you would do. I'm very excited to see more of that. That sounds wild. And last but not least, Amr.
Hi. I am unmuted this time. Hello, I'm Amrameraz. I am the voice and visage of Nagmat al-Alb. And you can find me on the internet at Amraz, on Twitter primarily. Not doing too much right now. That is public, that is. But you can follow me along on my Twitter, and you can keep up to date on there. That's all I got. Other than that, check Utopia. There's a bunch of wonderful shows, including every other Friday, such as this past one, and 2 weeks from now, right before Soundclash, usually, you can find the Cape and Blade stream, which I GM. That's it. That's all I got.
Nice, cool. And definitely check out Cape and Blade because it's actually really rad. And everything that Utopia makes is actually really, really cool. And you can let Utopia know that I said so. So, as for me, I have been your humble stage manager this evening, Brandon O'Brien. Pronouns he, him, or they, them. I am the designer of this game, Soundclash, which is still being held together by duct tape and glue, as you can tell by the parts of it that were totally missing this evening. But I'm very excited to share even more of this game with you with every passing session. And sometime very soon, hopefully in the next few months, the actual playtest document will be finished for everyone to look at. So keep an eye out for that as well. I am a frequent host of tabletop stuff on this channel. So every once in a while I will be doing either this or Blades in the Dark, the Case of the Sinded Seal, our Speculate co-stream miniseries event on Sundays on this channel, twitch.tv/ArvrenElron, and you can support that work at speculatesf.com or patreon.com/speculate. And my poetry collection is now available for pre-order, so if you want to get your hands on Can You Sign My Tentacle, a weird comedy horror poetry collection about the gods of the Cthulhu mythos asking black rappers for their autographs, you can go to interstellarflightpress.com and literally get an ebook pre-order from Amazon, physical pre-orders from Amazon coming very soon. Amazon is very weird and bad like that. Or from Barnes & Noble or your local indie bookstore if you check IndieBound as well. So definitely check that out whenever you have the chance. I think you'd really enjoy this weird, dumb poetry book of mine. And I'm very excited to get it in your hands. But you can also find me on Twitter at The Rising Tides and on Twitch very randomly sometimes at The Rising Tides at The Rising Tides _. I haven't been streaming for a while, but you will see me soon. And that's me for now. So all the lovely people in chat, I would love it very much if you gave all of your love to these beautiful people who have played with us this evening. Tonight's session was a lot of fun. I'm always very glad to return to Soundclash with these folks, and I can't wait to see what shenanigans we get into very, very soon. So I will see you all in a little bit while I check in with these lovely members of our audience. So please say goodbye to all of these lovely people in chat, folks. And I will disappear for a little bit while I come over here